Husband, 37M, attempted to manipulate me. 35F. I called his bluff. Now what? I, 35F, have been married to my husband, 37M, for 512 years, and we have an 18-year-old daughter. We have generally had a good marriage, but have repeatedly had the same two arguments for 3+ years. The first argument is that I work full-time, pay 85% of our bills, and do all of the cooking, cleaning, shopping, laundry, running of the household, etc. He also works full-time, but after work comes home and immediately takes his work clothes off, throws them on the couch in my living room, and goes into the family room to watch YouTube. I have repeatedly asked for help and get the runaround. The second is that he has a small porn addiction and suffers from premature ejaculation. An issue in itself, but not our main problem currently. The last week and a half or so, I had been running 80 miles an hour getting ready for the holiday this week. I was cleaning the house, washing the bedding in the guest room, cleaning the fridge, doing all the bits and pieces that you need to do to host family for Thanksgiving. I was also doing all of my daily things as well. For example, on a typical day, I wake up, make sure his, mine, and the baby's lunches are packed, she's dressed for daycare, my work bag is packed, drive to work. After work, I drive to the daycare to pick up baby girl, often taking meetings via phone on the commute. Do any errands that need done, grocery, Costco, pharmacy, etc. Come home, immediately breastfeed the baby, start dinner so we can eat once he's home, give the baby a bath, let her play while I clean off the table, do the dishes, clean the kitchen, tidy up, feed her again, get her to sleep, and then finally take a shower myself. It's basic daily tasks, but I don't stop until 9-10 at night. Last week I asked again for help, but was told that he needed the break because he is tired. I naturally told him that I never get a break, and I'm tired too, and need help with the house, and if he can't contribute half financially, he can at least contribute half of the cleaning. He shut down and just gave me the silent treatment for 2 days, then asked me if I wanted to go to his mother's house with him and the baby. I said only if he wasn't going to ignore me the whole time. That was the match that lit the fuse. He exploded. Evidently, I have done nothing but bitch for the last 3 years. He hates cleaning and isn't going to do it. That if him contributing is such a big deal, then we should divorce. I asked him to explain what that looks like to him. He said, I'll get an apartment and sign the house over to you, refinance it in your name. We'll split custody 50-50 and split her expenses 50-50 as well. He then stormed out of the house and went to his mother's until about 1 a.m. He again gave me the silent treatment for 2 days. The other day I asked him how his apartment hunting was going and he said, "What?" I told him I thought he was right. I had been bitching about this for 3 years. I'm miserable, and he's not helping make my life easier. That I agreed divorce is the best option, and that I would rather separate as friends and be good co-parents than grow to hate him and feel stuck in a toxic marriage. He then said, I only said that to scare you into shutting up. Basically, he attempted to emotionally abuse, manipulate me to get his way. As someone who grew up in a toxic and abusive childhood, this immediately shut me down emotionally. Like I look at him and I feel nothing. He is trying now to get back in my good graces, bringing flowers, chocolates, and all it does is make me angrier. I need advice. Is the fact that he tried to manipulate me and admitted it a valid reason for me to just want to shut this down? Because I have to be honest, I'm tempted to ruin Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'm just angry and reacting out of that, or if I am truly at the end of my rope. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Follow through and give him that divorce. You are already taking care of everything. It'll be easier without him in the house with you. And you'll at least get a break during his custody time. I'm honestly just surprised you had a child with him if this has been a problem for 3+ years. Oop. Ha. That was my thought too. And you are right. At first it didn't seem like a huge issue, and it was only a couple months after I started bringing it up that I got pregnant. Now it's like he thinks I'm trapped and have to put up with scraps. Commenter 2. He's not just manipulating you. He's exploiting you. You're carrying the financial burden, all household responsibilities, childcare. And he tried to use divorce as a weapon when you asked for basic partnership. His admission that he was trying to scare you into shutting up shows he views your valid needs as an inconvenience to be silenced. You're already functioning as a single parent while bankrolling his lifestyle. The only difference is you have an adult dependent who throws his clothes on your couch and watches YouTube while you exhaust yourself. The flowers and chocolates now aren't remorse, they're panic because his emotional blackmail didn't work. You're not overreacting, you're finally seeing clearly. When someone tells you they'd rather divorce than contribute to their own household, and then admits they were just trying to scare you into compliance, believe that revelation. He's showing you he prioritizes his comfort over your well-being and will use emotional warfare to maintain it. You're not angry because of the manipulation attempt. You're angry because it exposed the fundamental disrespect at the core of your marriage. He contributes minimally financially, does nothing domestically, and when confronted, tries to weaponize divorce to silence you. The flowers aren't going to fix this level of betrayal. Commenter 3. He wants 50-50 custody, yet cannot manage 50-50 parenting with the other parent in the home. If he's somehow granted 50% custody, he is in for a massive shock. Commenter 4. Good. Let him learn. This man fucked around and it's find out time. OP, you've called a lawyer, right? You need to get the drop on him for filing before his mommy does it for him. And congratulations on your upcoming liberation from the sad freeloading limp dick you're married to. OP. I have an appointment with one next week for a consult. And what makes me laugh is my SIL knows about the issue and 100% thinks his mom and dad are going to be angry with him. Evidently, they have told him he needs to step up previously. OP explains why her husband only was paying 15% of the bills. OP. I make double what he makes. So I put down the money for the house. He pays half the mortgage. I pay literally everything else, from utilities to daily living expenses. The other half of the mortgage would hurt, but I could pay it on my own and still have disposable income. Commenter 5. He bought you flowers and chocolates? You mean he didn't get on his hands and knees and scrub the floors, do the washing? Get the shopping in? Bath the baby? Apply for better paid jobs? He got flowers and chocolates in response to this? Jeez. OP. I'd settle for using the Swiffer, honestly. That's why the chocolates make me so angry. It's just an avoidance and an I did something to try and excuse himself. Commenter 6. You don't need permission to leave, but here it is anyway. You have permission to leave this really toxic situation, and you will probably be happier without him dragging you down. Oop. I don't know why this comment made me cry, but it did. I think I did need permission to leave. I feel selfish for wanting more and breaking the family. I was raised in a family where divorce wasn't an option. Now I have cut off my family and don't have that additional pressure, but I guess old wounds still fester. Does Oopie's husband do any tasks at home? Oop. He mows the front yard and takes the garbage out to the curb. He will empty the recycling bin if it's full. As far as parenting, he will be in the room with her while she plays, but no real interaction. He does take her to daycare in the morning because it's on the way to his job. How did OP and her husband meet? OP. He found me online. Then turned out I was friends with his brother's wife already, and we had just never met. What do OP and her husband do for the living? OP. I work in a corporate job and he is currently courier. Update. Hi y'all. It's been a while since I posted, but I wanted to let things play out and give you a full update. Firstly, I wanted to say thank you to all of you who responded and gave encouragement. You helped more than you know. I did it. I filed for divorce. Our divorce should be final mid-June. He fought it for a few months, but finally seems to see that I can't move on, and I won't let him rug sweep it anymore. He is still talking about hoping for a future reconciliation, but I told him that honestly, without massive amounts of therapy for both of us, I don't see much hope there. Honestly, once he accepted that I wasn't giving in and that the divorce was real, he was very agreeable to discussing terms and working with me on custody arrangements, housing, etc. That's not to say we didn't have our drama, Lord knows we did. Fortunately, nothing too physical towards me. He grabbed me a few times trying to force me to stay in a room to get yelled at, but I set him straight real quick there. His threats were mostly towards self-harm. The first time was back in February. He was still in denial that I had filed and was very angry about losing the best things in his life. He threatened to go downstairs and take his own life. Because I'm stubborn, as the day is long, and don't have the sense God gave a goose, I followed him down there. I ended up wrestling his gun away and locking myself and the toddler in the bedroom. I should have called the police. I still don't know why I didn't. Instead, I called his brother and told him to come get him. They did, and the next day, I took the gun, that was unloaded, and never had ammo because he was manipulating me again, to his parents, and said, if that gun made another appearance in my home or around my child, I would ensure he was never around her again. It hasn't been seen since. A few weeks later, on their B-Day, toddler and STBX share a B-Day, he jumped off my 2-story deck after my daughter's B-Day party. I didn't see it. I came down the hall, and our 2-year-old said, "Mama, Daddy fall." I walked outside, and he was kneeling by my lawnmower, said he was fixing it. Obviously, my 2-year-old hasn't learned to lie yet. I text my friend and said, I'm pretty sure he just jumped off the deck. He doesn't seem hurt, but IDK what to do. As I hit send, I hear him on the deck, talking to our kid. I looked out the door, and he's leaning off the edge, obviously about to jump again. I lost it. It probably wasn't the appropriate thing to say, and I probably am a terrible person for saying it, but it worked and I don't regret it. I told him, so help me God, if you jump off this deck and die, I will move, and your family will likely only see her once a year. You jump off this deck and live, and I guarantee you will never see her unsupervised again. You step back over that railing and get both feet on this deck right now, or I swear to God, I'll make sure of it. He stepped back on the deck pretty quickly. He of course wanted to then argue about how I am driving him to this, how he doesn't deserve to be left alone. I'm breaking his heart. I reminded him he spent the last almost 4 years now breaking my heart and spirit, and I was done having this conversation. As I turned to walk away, this man grabbed my wrist to force me to turn around. I already had my phone in my hand, and I never called 911 so fast. The police showed up and took him to the hospital for a psych evaluation. I was under the impression that a suicide attempt in this state required a 72-hour hold. They released him after 2 hours, suggesting he talk to a therapist. I didn't want to involve the police. I tried to avoid it, but I kind of wish I had involved them earlier. He has been much more docile and accepting since. No more grabbing, no more threats. We still argue, but at least the worst part seems to have disappeared. It helps that even his parents are telling him, she called the cops on you, she's crazy, let her go. I'm fine with being labeled the crazy one. I've been called worse by better people. TLDR. Little bit of drama, but everything is going good now, and divorce should be final in mid-June. Send good vibes. Thank you again. Y'all were the voice of reason I needed, and you have no idea how many times I read those comments when I needed encouragement and felt like I had no one in my corner. Commenter 1. May be good to document all of these actions with your attorney. and that he be required to have supervised visitation for the foreseeable future, regardless of how he is acting now. He still doesn't sound mentally stable enough to be a sole parent during his time with your child, or beyond some other action such as abducting your kid. Sorry you've gone through all this, but I think your child's safety should be your paramount thoughts. Oop. Absolutely. Have made sure everything is documented and ensured he is in fact seeing a therapist. Fortunately, his time with our kid happens with his parents present, as he is staying there for now. They might not like me very much right now, but I trust them. They have made it very clear that I'm still family to them. Commenter 2. I'm glad you are aiming to be free. But from reading that, my heart and stomach plummeted. Especially when you said he is now more docile and accepting. This particular time is now the most dangerous for you and your daughter. He's unstable and has access to a gun. You need to insist he's never unsupervised around her. You need to stop being around him. I really hope I'm proven wrong here, but everything is pointing to him escalating. Commenter 3. I'm proud of you for getting out. You gave him more chances than most would, and his own actions sealed the deal. He weaponized threats, manipulated your emotions, refused to contribute as a partner, and tried to keep control even through the divorce. You stayed strong through it all, for yourself and your daughter. Here's to your peace, your freedom, and your future.